Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, gosh, I wish I could share that with you, but I can't because this goes out right through the night as well. So it's probably not a good idea. Anyway, listen. Someone who always causes hilarity when he's in the room, John Lockwood.
Hello.
Your fault, guilty as charged.
It is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't get to work together that often,
that's true.
do we?
No. We're sure there's a secret memo going around to keep us apart. But I tell you what, honestly, this one-day special, my word, you'll be glad, honestly, that you found this, because it's so good. If you feel like you have a very, very low artistic ability and you feel like you can't create cards and you can't create scenes and you can't create atmosphere, then this is the one-day special that gets you so over that hurdle you will not believe. In fact, you'll be so over the hill and so far away, you turn into an expert straight away. This is incredible. Now, I have to tell you, and I have to tell you for the benefit of the show that goes out right the way through the night, this is the second live hour, although you might be watching it at 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And we are talking about... Really? Oh, OK, right. Oh, well, that's changed since I last heard.
Yeah.
Right, OK, so as we come into this 8 o'clock live show on Wednesday night, we are limited stock on the one-day special in its current and initial configuration. And so if you're watching the live show, you really need to do something about that right now, because it looks like if you're shopping through the night, it might be a different set of circumstances. In fact, it won't be long in this hour, I'm sure, where you will find out about that. Right, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's just assume that you haven't seen any of this so far.
Yeah.
Let's start right at the very beginning, John, I think, as to what this is and what it can do.
Right, so the main thing is, and the one thing I always like to stress on this, I haven't reinvented the wheel.
Doesn't stop
These
it being
stamps
brilliant.
aren't new.
No.
Or the idea of small little pattern building stamps aren't new. The idea of a stencil that will build you a sort of a wreath in stages is not new. But what
the combination you've got here,
pulled everything together in brand new finger stamps. Some that we've taken from some licensed artists. Some of these are my drawings. So there's a mixture in there, and we're quite clear on that with Two Jays. What we've done is we've brought the beautiful finger stamps in. Then we've done the beautiful bigger stamps, which I'll bring in here. So you've got things like the beautiful baubles. You've got the trees and the deers. Again, you've got the antlers, and actually what you've got in here, and it's really hard to see, you've got the little eyes and eyelashes of the deer and the nose.
So sweet.
But again, if I put it in an order so you could see it, you wouldn't get as many stamps in. We've given you plant pot edging. We've given you a little present, a stocking hanging, things like that. You've got all the pieces to build your wreaths. But you then get the two sizes of the wreath builder, and this is the difference. We've brought this in and we've introduced this to fit with the Press to Impress, which is my personal preference. It's the preference of a lot of demonstrators on here and other channels, to be honest. And I say this every time, but if you see a demonstrator or somebody using a Press to Impress, they've bought it.
Yes.
Because we don't give them away.
No.
We don't. We don't fire them out to everyone and say, here, use this.
No,
you
it's
know,
not like an influencer programme or anything like that, is it? It's...
That doesn't happen with us. Nothing goes out. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I know. So what we've done is we've made this. If I take the magnets off, I had a lady message me in between shows on social media, and she said she'd got a version of this from a few years ago. Sam's tracked ideas of this back to 2006.
Which is like eons away. There's generations of crafters that have appeared since then and never seen anything like this.
But what she said her struggle was she couldn't keep it stable in the Press to Impress. But if you look here, this has been made and cut to fit the Press to Impress. So if you see that, look, that is not falling out.
It's snug as a bug in a rug.
Doesn't matter which way, you know, 1, 2, 3. It's not falling out. It's in there and it's fixed. Add a couple of magnets, it's completely fixed. And the other big difference that we've brought in, and this was Jane's idea, are the finger blocks.
These are genius.
And these, to me, are the best thing ever. So if I just bring a little bit of card in...
They keep you clean.
They do. They keep me clean.
Yes.
Nothing keeps me clean when it comes to crafting and colouring. But the thing is, You know, we've got little blocks. There are wooden pegs you can use. There are like acrylic pegs you can use. There are tiny little, and I don't even know where I've put mine, tiny little blocks you can use.
Yes.
But the thing is, they're not directional. I struggle holding something that big to go with, and that I'll get ink on my finger. This has even got, if you can see that, can you see it's got a rim?
Yeah.
So that basically, when you put a stamp on, and let's grab a cleanish stamp.
I have to tell you, by the way, the set of 30 that you can see on the details there, we have sold out earlier in the launch hour. We've had the conversations going out from the 8th of October. They are back there for you to grab right now. The 8th is like tomorrow or something, isn't it?
Day after, I think, something like that.
Days,
but the thing is, these will fit with anybody's stamps.
Right.
The first company to do these little pattern building stamps, I think, was Tapestry or something in America like 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So again, but if you've got them for other companies, they'll fit.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing special on these. But if you see, when I push this into the ink, and this is a very squidgy ink pad.
Yeah.
So I'm really pushing that in. Yeah. Can you see? No ink. Let's hold it closer. No ink because of that ridge.
Yeah. So none around the side.
None around the side. So I go 1, 2, 3. I've chosen a really light colour, so I should use
invisible.
But 1, 2, 3. But look, even when, can you see there? I've got ink.
Yeah, right the way around.
Swimming all the way around that stamp. Yeah, and you can see it's liquid.
And that's what drives me crazy with stamps.
But watch, when I put that down, and I can hold it in my finger, or I can hold it like a pencil. And what we've tried to do is we've brought together different ideas that people have done over the years, but we've got big stamps, sentiment stamps, because you get all the new sentiments as well, brand new again today. You've got the little stamps, you've got the pattern building, you've got the big stamps, and the stamp blocks, and the wreath builder, which I'll show you in a minute how clever that is.
OK, I feel like I need to jump in just at this stage because I think I need you to see across the collection before that limited stock changes to sold out and everything changes. You've got the 2 wreath builder stencils, but you've got all of these stamps, and these are all finger-sized stamps. So these are the ones that give you those smaller images that you just keep repeating to create phenomenal patterns. I tell you what, they are so, so good. It's one of the most comprehensive. And you say that this is not a new idea, and I'll take that, John, completely, because you know far better than I do. But I have to say, I've seen a lot of crafting over the last few years. A lot of companies here, I've never seen anything like this. I've never heard of anyone talk about anything like this. But when you can see what it can create, all of those little elements that you can piece together that all work so beautifully. You were showing some wreaths earlier. In fact, Scott was showing this sample, I think, earlier. And you were saying, OK, well, normally, if that was one stamp, then you'd stamp it out once, it'd all be the same colour, which totally made sense. With the little stamps, you can stamp them all in different colours, and you can build up a scene like that and a wreath like that massively quickly. And what John's done here is simply shown you first generation, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. And actually mixing and layering up those generations is what builds up the most incredible patterns. And look at the elements you've got there, from open pine cones and more solid pine cones to acorns. Another kind of fir cone there as well. A little... What do you call it?
It's sycamore key.
Thank you. Helicopter. Acorn. You've got berries there. You've got buds there. You've got so much. You've got a Christmas set as well. So lots and lots of different snowflakes and leaves. So this isn't just Christmas. Yes, it's called a festive complete collection. But, and yes, it does more than cover Christmas, but it does so much more as well, because for pattern building, this is just phenomenal. And actually, you see at the bottom there, John's just literally mixed up first, second, third, fourth, fifth generations together to build up amazing borders, and you can do them in seconds. Can I just show you something that I think is absolutely genius? And I think, actually, when you see this, you'll be like, oh, yeah? You know, the thought of making your own wrapping paper probably sends you screaming.
We all talk about it all the time on shows.
Yes.
And we, as Kim, the producer, said, no one ever does it.
No.
Always talk about it.
Yeah.
No one ever does it. I watched Sam do this, and there's a strip missing at the bottom because he's already wrapped a present in it.
Yeah.
Because this came off one of the Jelly Bean large brown paper rolls.
Yeah.
This took him about 10 minutes.
It's superb.
If that, literally. He just pulled it out on a whole desk and did it.
You don't even need to follow a pattern.
Not that he didn't follow any pattern.
You just fill the gaps.
Yeah.
I mean, keep creating.
This, you know, and look, see where the blue one's not quite stamped properly.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a blind bit of difference.
It
It's
adds.
still got beautiful. To me, that really screams 60s, 70s, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, that sort of look.
It's brilliant. Sam, can I put an order for 50 metres, please, for this Christmas?
He's actually in the craft cave now, so he's probably making some more of that.
He'll be throwing something at the screen if he's listening, going, no, you can't. But I tell you what, my word, I mean, and the stamps just go on and on and on. Look at all of your elements that you've got here, 103 stamps. And you've got such an amazing price there. Remember, you have got your 10-finger stamp blocks. I'm putting a finger in the air there. If you're a Freedom member, you're making a bigger saving. But literally, you need to be so quick if you are watching the live show on Wednesday night, because we are talking about limited stock on this one-day special in the configuration it is right now. And again, on Wednesday night, 8:10, the phone lines have gone crazy again. Please, 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 just bear with us and we'll be with you as quickly as we possibly can. We cannot possibly keep up with the demand for this endlessly. We have got the extra finger stamp blocks as well if you want as well. Aren't they genius? Now, these sold out in the launch show. We've got them back, going out for you on the 8th, which is only a couple of days. And they come in stacks of 30, because you might want to do what John does and use his old Dauber cases and have one per stamp. You can do that. Now, did you say 30%? 30% of that new stock? Wow. And I mean,
you were here when we added that on, because I actually said it about a minute before the show goes.
No, absolutely. And so I know the numbers involved. Gosh, that's good. And they are so handy as well, aren't they? We've forgotten to tell you. Well, we haven't forgotten. It's just that there's so much to tell you in this show. OK, can I just call this utterly ridiculous? It's called a happy hour. I'm just going to call it utterly ridiculous. It will be literally fastest fingers first, fastest telephone callers, fastest web bidders. It's good for this live hour on Wednesday night between 8 and 9. It won't last the hour. The last one didn't, did it? The last happy hour just sold out straight away. Now, this is Jane's... Oh, we're blaming Jane this time, are we?
Jane selected everything in here. Jane came up with these ideas.
Jane, we love you, because you've got 2 sets of dies and you've got an embossing folder. Now, contents may vary, but so this gives you a really... How much? Already? Well, we haven't even shown them yet. 20% of that stock has already sold out and gone. And that's literally just jumped from 10 to 20, as I was 30% of the... Right, OK, did I tell you it wouldn't last the hour? It'll last literally minutes. So you don't need me to talk to you about how many elements and how many bits and pieces and the kind of things you're getting here. You're getting die cuts, you're getting toppers, you're getting flowers, you're getting all sorts. 2 die sets and an embossing folder. That would have been enough for $9.99, John, as a happy hour, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, I keep looking at that because I don't actually have that gate one. I mean, not that you're going to definitely get that one.
Yeah, may vary.
But I've got my eye on that one myself.
Now, right, honestly, half the stock of the happy hour is gone. Can I just say, there's nothing stopping me from buying 2 of those sets. Because if I wanted to gift to one of my crafty friends, I'm probably going to get some duplicates and whatever, but that's fine, because for that kind of price tag...
Well, it's the sort of Christmas present that I would get Sam as a new crafter. Or Sam, oh, Sam's mum. That would be perfect for Sam's mum as a Christmas present. Well, there you go, Alison. There's your Christmas present sorted. Well, let's hope she's not watching, because she won't know the price.
If you're quick enough to allocate... how much? 60% now. I kind of want to hold all of that in my arms and just go, that's $9.99. You know what? If you were going to insert the name of any store that would have this kind of variety of crafting goodies all in one shop at the moment, do you know what I mean? How many craft shops have you been into and they've got like one of something, then 3 empty rows, and then something that doesn't go with that whatsoever? Big dies. Big dies. You know, not little mini dies. Big dies, lots of metal. And you're guaranteed 2 dies that size and an embossing folder as well. And look, things like this that I don't... Well, you would have stopped at $9.99 beyond those 2, wouldn't you? You know, and you price bits and pieces like that. $1.99 or $2.99 or $3.99 and probably the same again. And keep coming, Marcus. Probably the same again. And keep coming, Marcus. And... and... probably the same again. Oh, that went with that, doesn't it? That's all as one, isn't it? So probably the same again. Stamens, $2.99, $3.99. Little Roses, I beg your pardon, jewelled flowers there, probably, you know, £1.99, £2.99, whatever. Like, how much do you want for £9.99? Do you know what I mean? And another set, and another set, and a little handmade kind of kit here with little billy-doos on it, which is beautiful. Look at how gorgeous. Sorry, I keep wrecking the set here. That paper pack there, there's 5 papers in that pack, but it's a special kind of linen texture with a sheen and a sparkle. Can you see? Beautiful.
It's like a linen texture paper.
That's gorgeous.
With the pearl.
And then, is that little, like, die cuts? It looks like a stamp, doesn't it? It looks like a red rubber stamp. It's not. It's a little... is it a stamp? Yes. No, it's not. It's cards. It's cards and Sporelli templates. No, it's fine. It does look like a stamp. I thought the same. And then you've got the little toppers there. You get 6 of those in that pack. And then, anyway, listen, you get how good this is. How much stock? Right, limited. OK, well, this lets me do what I wanted to do then, Kim, which is to get all of those pieces one by one and kind of say to you, how on earth, in any craft store, would you be able to go home with all of this stuff for just £9.99? There is no way. There you go, and I've cleared up as I've gone along. I've made a mess at the same time, yes, but... Oh, sorry. I've missed the flowers.
Is that going to your locker, Derek?
I've missed the flowers. Well, I am hoping so. You're never going to get a fraction of that in craft stores, are you, for £9.99? I'm sorry to take up time, but do you agree? Hello? Yeah. Well, that's why it's limited stock, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? That's probably... OK, Ben, you can have all of that now. It's technically sold out. If you've got it in your basket, well done. Do check it out. I'll tidy up later. I'll replace that with some samples in a wee bit. Right, OK, well, that's that done and dusted. There'll be brand new... will there be brand new happy hours tomorrow?
There is. It's a happy hour on every single show. So 8, 12 and 4 tomorrow. Right.
8 a.m, midday, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Worth just coming for the happy hours, isn't it, really, to be honest with you? Oh, OK. The one-day special... Right, we are talking now 16 minutes into the 8 o'clock show live on Wednesday night, and we're talking about single figures of the initial configuration of the one-day special. So that's with the stencils and the 103 stamps and the 10-finger stamp blocks as well. Single figures. The next few of you to get through on the phone lines or to confirm on the web, it's going to be yours. Wow. There you go. And you say you're not inventing the wheel.
No, we haven't reinvented the wheel. We try and, with Crafts 2, with Two Jays Wreath, we try and work to bring things to people that will work and are easy and at good value. It's always been, our attitude has always been either be first or try and be the best value, try and be the first and best together, or try and be the best value, or bring it together so it's easy for people. And I've loved playing with this because I've never been the best at building circles.
I tell you what,
using the finger stamps, and the blocks make such a difference.
They honestly do. It's absolutely. You've just got to watch this. You've just got to sit back and watch. It is literally the next few of you. Producer Kim is poised, and it will be seconds after you start your demonstration. I have to tell you that it's going to be sold out. So, John, go for your life.
OK, so what I'll do this time, let's do something a little bit autumnal. So, when I'm using the actual... When I'm actually using the wreath stencil, I'm using the larger one here. So there's 2 in the pack. One is 10 centimetres, one is 12 centimetres, which will be 4 inches if you're imperial like me, and 4 3/4 inches. And all you've got to do to build a circle is just make sure no stamp passes this line here. So can you see this line? If I bring this in a little bit more there. Yeah, so nothing passes that. It's absolutely fine. So I think we'll do something a little bit autumnal this time. So I'm just going to put 3 in together. Shall we go for the little sycamore key as well? So let's put him in. And all I'm doing is just going to put that in and close it. OK. And then literally, I'm going to use an ink that anyone would have at home usually. Yeah. A sepia VersaFine. I mean, you know, my basic kit is always a black VersaFine, a sepia and a grey, and we literally stamp it, OK? Yeah. Doesn't that look random? Turn it back in. All you're doing is meeting this little corner, yeah? Turn it, stamp, OK? Turn it, stamp. Doesn't matter if they overlap. So turn it, stamp. Okay, and all I'm doing is you're turning it, you stamp 8 times, you're turning it 7 times. That's it. So, there we go. But you never think that that little random thing of stamps there will make a circle, but it will.
It's so, so clever.
And all I've done is put a magnet in the middle, and I'm using this on my artboard, but you can use it straight into your press and press on the foam if you want to.
That's the thing that's so genius about this. It is the simplicity of it.
And there we
That's
go.
what's the genius thing about this, is the simplicity.
If I straighten that, so start with then, there we've got a circle of basically autumn foliage.
And you don't need to do it. I mean, you put 4 stamps together there.
Yeah.
You could have put more, you could have put less. And that's how you can build up your different layers of different colours at the same time. So do all of your pine cones. You've got a variety of different pine cones. Do 3 or 4 of those first. Then add your berries in the red. Then add your leaves in the green. And that's the... I really want to... When you were saying earlier that Scott was going to have a go, I was like, oh, goody, it means I can have a go later as well. This is the kind of stamp set that you really do want to get your hands on and start playing and see what you can achieve, because it's all very well and good, I know, watching John, who you would consider to be an expert crafter, although I know he's far too modest to admit any of that. But you want to get your hands on them yourself, don't you? That's the thing with these, because you've got so many to go at, you just want to get in. And remember, having that wreath maker is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute.
It's just clever. And all I've done now is literally fill the gap, with a little bit. I've just taken 3 more stamps from the foliage set now, and I've filled the gaps. But look, and I'm going to just, again, keep rotating. But you can see now how I've gone for... So I added 4 stamps to start with. Now I've added 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've just used... But you've got 103.
I know.
You know, every time it will come out different. But you see now how it's starting to fill out like a wreath. So I'm using this sort of wheat colour.
And also the thing is, John, when you buy a stamp set which is on a theme, you tend to stick with just within that stamp set, don't you?
Yes.
When you've got 103 to go at, you don't think, oh, no, I don't want that set. Oh, no, I don't really want that set. Like, you go through all your sets, don't you? And you go, not today for that one, not today for that one.
This is all together in one.
Yes. With this, you can have thousands of ideas. In fact, you can have no idea whatsoever, and you've got so much to go at.
You really can sort of totally play without having to get different, like say, oh, get my autumn stamps out, I'll get my summer stamps out, I'll get my spring out. Oh, no, it's time for my Christmas stamps. Yeah. It's not the way that you have to do it. What we do is and all I do is, I tend to store them like this. So I tend to put them in, these are old cases from the Dauber case. Because they break and they tear. So I've got enough stamps nearly, enough finger blocks to have 1 on each. And literally when I turn it that way up, I can see what I've got. And you had these developed just for this kind of thing as well, didn't you? The block came first. Yeah. So the block was found first. It was Jane's idea, and it was based on the Dauber. Yeah. So it's like a finger Dauber without foam on it. But look, this is a finger Dauber. Watch. It's bigger. Yeah. So that it fits my fat fingers, and rather than being black, and this is a thinner... Can you see that's a thinner plastic? Yeah. Yeah. I can't bend that one, but I can bend that one. So it's heavy duty. It's heavier duty, and it's clear. And the other thing is, because it's not solid all the way through, you get no distortion. So I can see the stamp through. And that without it making it look bigger. And that raised edge is genius. I've had plenty of little wooden block stamps, which have been great letters. I've been to put them down, and I've got the edge of the rubber and the letter. Yeah. It drives me crazy. I've done that. It makes me want to throw them all away. Because I just think, well, that must be me then, or the block is rubbish. I'm not quite sure. No, it's not. It's technology moves us on. Yeah. And, you know, as I said, before stamp presses came through, I can guarantee you I would not have been doing a show like this. I wouldn't have dreamt of it. Yeah. Because I know for a fact that I wouldn't have had the skill base. And again, you take a little bit more time. I'm getting a few finger marks and things, but do you know what? It doesn't bother me on this. So. Producer Kim's got a question. Ooh. Can you work off any of the corners to make your circle, or does it have to be top left or top right? Look, there, I've gone to the middle. I'm not even in a corner.
In fact, you could do two sides at the same time, could you not?
Yeah, you could do two sides and do different colours.
Yeah.
You have to be far more organised than I am. But I started in that corner and then I worked to here and now I'm actually halfway down here. So it doesn't actually matter.
And every time you do it, you get something different.
Something completely different. Let's take him out of the middle. But you see then, that really does get an autumnal wreath. And what I would do is I would take then and say, right, OK, well, I think if I want to pull out from this, I want to use the pine cone, but I'll use one of the others.
I've just had another idea as well. Just stay with John. Stay with it, because it's not that groundbreaking.
2. But imagine... So now I start to put first... I'm filling in randomly with the finger block, but look how much easier it is than using a little block. And that's what I like. I want easy, and that's what, as I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're trying to make things easier for people.
No, but here's a thing that I've just thought of. Imagine doing your base layer, so you're establishing layer, circle, in something like a distress oxide, and then spraying it and spritzing it and letting it do its thing, and then letting it dry, and then go back in with your crisp stamping in different colours on the top of that. I think you could create something. So you could create something sort of blurred and defocused in the background.
You really could. But suddenly we've gone to, can you see the different layers in there?
Love it.
And suddenly it's full and it pops out. And I've used 3 colours. That's it.
I love it. And there's so many things you can do with it. Right, my friends, that moment has come. That moment has come. And I honestly don't know what happens next until Kim tells me what happens next. But we're technically sold out of the one-day special as it stands right now. So can I say a massive congratulations. If you have one sitting in a basket right now unchecked out, please do make sure it is checked out, because it is technically sold out and gone. And honestly, we're going to have to do something a bit unprecedented here. Because at the moment, none of us know what happens next. So I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to go and see our Freedom VT, and we're all going to have a little bit of a conflag, see what happens the other side of this. Leonie, help!
Have you heard of Freedom? Did you know that as a Freedom member, you could be making savings on every order you place? For just £7.97 a month, you will benefit from selected Freedom member discounts and complimentary standard delivery on every order you place. You will also receive our exclusive Freedom Members badge, giveaways and crafty updates. If you shop with the craft store more than twice a month, then Freedom is for you. Don't forget, your Freedom membership is flexible, so you can pause if you're going away, or you can cancel at any time you decide. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call or go to our website, quoting the item number 88888, and join Freedom today.
Oh, I tell you what, it's amazing how quickly some decisions can be made. And it could have gone many, many different ways there. It could have been, oh, now, who do we bring into the second half of a show like this? How does that work? Like, we've never done that before. OK, what we've managed to do is bring you back while stocks last. So if you want to view it as a one-day special Mark II, equally as good, let me tell you, just genius. You get all of the stamps, all of the 103 stamps and the 10 stamp blocks. So the only thing that we are missing here is that the Wreath Maker set of stencils for this, and you've got a second opportunity to get hold of all of the stamps. Now, the stamps are the key element in these, and let me just show you. I'll show you one sample which demonstrates so beautifully just how simple building scenes is when you've got these stamps. Because remember when I was showing you the stamps before, when John was stamping them out and showing us first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation, and how you can build those up. Remember, you've got phenomenal scene builders that are all in scale with each other, John.
Yeah.
Which is really, really important, isn't
it? The foliage matched the plant pots. We've done 2 different sizes of those. But it's things like, there's one here which I'm going to grab.
Sorry.
But we've put them in scale so that things like the stocking will hang from the top, but it will hang from the antlers. So it's in the right scale against the present, the pot. So they're all from 4 different sets, but they will all work together.
Look
So
at
I
how
told you he
clever.
got eyes.
That is so clever.
And again, because of using the antlers as a base, you don't need to have a stencil or anything to help you get that sort of wreath look.
It is fabulous. And can I just show you the most genius thing for me of this collection is finally, this is one of the simplest and easiest ways to finally do that thing that gets talked about in crafting all the time, it never gets done. Making your own wrapping paper. So getting your cheap as chips brown paper that's good quality.
Yeah, and that's Jelly Bean from one of your happy hours on the big brown roll.
There you go. And you can get loads and loads of that, veritably miles of that, do you know what I mean? For a good price.
Fully recyclable, which most wrapping paper isn't.
Oh, well, there you go. That's
because
another
apparently
reason to
it's
have
got a gloss finish and things on it, so they don't like to recycle it in the paper places, a lot of it.
And Sam just went to town with the Christmas stamps.
Yes.
And look at that.
Literally on a desk, he put a soft board down and he just literally stamped it randomly with no idea of pattern, and he just sort of went, you'll see, you know, each bauble's a different colour. He just kept stamping across it. He loved it.
And you know what? All the inks that you've bought over the years, what proportion of those inks do you use? Do you know what I mean? We've all bought on the way. We've bought some value sets, haven't we, that haven't quite lived up to expectation. This is a great way of using them. A great way of using them. But if you want the real deal inks, by the way, they are on the show as well. Get the ink petals that John's using, because they're really, really good. Rather than lid off, here, there, and all over the place, because I know what it's like. I was making someone a card the other day and there were inks all over the place, lids missing and things like that. Get these ink petals because they all come together. Now, your While Stocks Last is really, really busy already. I'm not surprised at all. If you're watching through the night, it is the remnants of the one-day special. But do you know what? It's the key remnants as well. It's the 103 scene-building stamps. Now, it's called a festive collection, but it'll do far beyond that, John.
It will, yeah. You've got everything in here. I mean, again, pine cones. There's physalis, if that makes sense. You know, the sort of Cape Gooseberry.
Yes.
That's in there. You've got little Chinese lanterns, as they call them in here, pine cones, dots. You've got flowers. You've got flowers that are not Christmas. You've got little Christmassy ones, but you've got a maple leaf, which is my favourite, different from the one we've done before. You've got even the seed pod heads in tiny in there. You've got berries. You've got different leaves. You've got 2 different sizes of the sort of maple leaf. You know, you've got all the fair trees. It's not all Christmas. It's all year round.
It is phenomenal. Seriously, don't waste any time thinking about this. It's sold out as the original one-day special, but the stamps, which is the key ingredients. And can I just quickly whiz you through these? Because this is John stamping 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th generation, and just randomly stamping them together to show you how beautifully they group. Now, whether it's the stars or the snowflakes, to the berries and the holly, it all works phenomenally, and that's something that John has literally taken the stamp, look, made a flower out of a leaf there. So many ideas. It's really, really cool.
And these are the first things I did when I first got the samples.
Yeah.
These are actually my test boards with the black ink, because that's how I test every stamp.
Of course.
So these haven't been poshed up for telly. This is literally pulled out of the box of, this is what I did when I got them.
OK, one more thing from me, which is just to tell you that 10% of the While Stocks Last, which is all of the stamps and the finger blocks, has sold out already, and that's very, very quickly. I don't know what happens on Thursday. I'm going to be here as well.
This is it now.
So once it's gone, it's gone?
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yes,
we
that's
don't
what While
have
Stocks
spare
Last
to
mean.
pull in any more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't.
OK, well, in the meantime, while all that happens, show me more.
OK, so what I'm going to do now is, again, to show you a different idea. Again, a little bit festive, but again, you could do this for all year round. So all I've done is taken a piece of scrap card and I've cut a circle out of it. So this could be, I've used a die, but it could be a punch. You could even draw around a lid of something and cut it out with a knife or a pair of scissors. And I'm just going to put this onto a piece of card, roughly in the middle at the top. Yeah. I don't need to tape it down because I'm going to use my magnets. And I'm going to grab some of the petal inks. As you said, so much easier to use these because they're, with one lid off, I've got all 8 colours that I need. So I'm going to take a little bit of that light green. And it's always worth, when you're using a blending brush and when you are blending, is just take the excess off first.
Yes.
Yeah. Get it soft. And then all I'm going to do is just sweep over this, you'll feel, see what happens when I don't take it off first? Makes no difference whatsoever. It actually really works for this because I'm going to stamp over it.
Yeah.
So you think you're achieving nothing with that. You take that off. There is the start of my little tree.
Awesome.
Okay. So what I'm then going to do is let's grab some of the foliage and my favourites, because there's these 2 pine branches that go either direction.
Ah, okay.
So one goes left, one goes right.
Yeah.
And you think that's weird in a small stamp, but to me it really makes a difference because you need to do that. So I'm going to go into the darker green. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap, because I can see on the overhead you're not seeing the colour properly.
we can't see it, yeah.
Let's go with a slightly more intense green to start with.
Okay.
Okay, so.
That's it, got it.
Right, first, second, third. Not trying to be correct.
Not needing to be.
Literally going all the way around this.
And see, it looks like you've taken very, very impressive colourist techniques in all of this. No one, on first glance, the average Joe or Josephine, seeing the card that was on, would never know, never ever know how you achieved that.
No,
never.
You wouldn't. And that's what we want to achieve. That's what we're trying to get, is to make it. It's one of those that if you send it to crafters, they will ask you, how have you made that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we want. But again, look, you don't have to have any skill to do this. People know I'm not the best skilled stamper. I'd never claim to be. You know, I'm no Julia Watts on this one, and she is, to me, you know, the best stamper. You know, I'm not good at it. She shakes her head when we're on at the same time, because she actually sees the finger marks and the blobs that I get on and things like that. But you know, it's the effect. So
yeah,
I've just gone through there with that. So now I'm going to take one of the holly stamps.
Well caught.
Already on the block.
Yeah.
And again, the dark one. And I'm just going to
get those blocks, just for people who have those smaller alphabet stamps as well. Just get some.
If you've got the smaller stamps, you don't have to use ours. I know people, when we launched these, who were saying, no, I don't quite fancy that stamp, or I've got a smaller one, but I want the blocks. You see now, there's a little topiary tree.
That's joyous, isn't it?
Of holly. So I'm then going to take my favourite of, isn't this sad?
That's
the
taken you
smallest one.
That's taken you about 3 minutes, John, so far to do that.
It's so easy to do. I've got another one ready for tomorrow, which I can show you where I do 3. But
hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You know the 30 finger blocks, finger stamp blocks? I think people are multi-ordering these. I think they are. Half of a big stock sold out and gone. These are on. These go out on the 8th for you, don't they? Which is that the day after tomorrow, I think, isn't it? Well, listen, it's no time at all. You'll be so glad you have these in your life. People, I think, are multi-ordering those. You get 30 for those for $11.97. Grab them now while you can.
So I'm just using this as my favourite, the little one. Look at the difference that makes when I go with a contrasting red colour, suddenly.
Oh, my word.
It really makes, again, first and second. If you think, right in the middle it's going to be darker, on the outskirts they're going to be behind. So it's almost like using your pale colour there, yeah? So I want a tree on this now.
Oh, OK, yes,
okay,
yeah.
So I want, you know, I need to have a branch on here, and I haven't got a branch stamp.
Right.
So what I will do is I will use... This is like a ball chain stamp that comes with the bauble set.
Oh, OK, right, yeah,
to hang the baubles from. But it makes the most perfect... So I'm going to use my platform, because that's what I've got it for.
Yeah.
Makes the most perfect sort of trunk for it. So again, VersaFine in sepia. So there's the trunk of my tree.
Brilliant.
It's weird. And then, of course, what we've got with the antlers is we've got... Make sure you put these back, John. I've been so good while I've been making all my samples. Had them laid out all everywhere.
Yeah.
So you've got in the... For the bucket, or the plant pot... Bucket's not right.
Yeah.
You've got a solid. So I'm just going to pop that one down. Okay, and what I'm going to do is... I'm going to ink that with the VersaFine in sepia, like you would do normally.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a scrap piece of card and stamp it onto that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm going to stamp it in place, so it's paler.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I want one side to be a little bit darker. So if we can, if I move this in, can you see there? There we go. So I'm just going to do the same as I was doing earlier. Darken one edge.
Yeah.
You probably can't see that, but it.
Yeah.
What I've done is I've darkened one edge, so I'm going to stamp that. So suddenly it's a bit 3D. Doesn't it look arty like I've taken a brush?
That's really cool.
Yeah, I can't do that. So, but then we take the outside line for it, and this makes it pop. We just put that over. This is why the press and press is amazing. I can see through. I can see it clear. Pick that up and just ink that as normal flat. But if you watch, that's your 3D pot.
Yeah.
It's only 3D on one side.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's your 3D detailed pot that does look 3D.
So good.
So all I would do then is just take, here I've got a little bit of red and a little bit of green, the same colours as I've used through it, on a card blank, and literally, let's put it up the right way, onto the red, and we're done. I'll hold this one up. But that's, what, 3-4 minutes?
I know, yeah. It's genius. The other thing I was thinking there as well, when you were building up the pattern there on the top, you could do lots of stamping there relatively quickly, and probably you've got enough moisture in the ink still, because you've been so quick, that you could go over the whole thing with clear embossing, couldn't you?
You can, if you use the pigment, the petals,
yeah,
which is obviously a little bit softer colour for TV,
yeah,
it will, you can put that glitter over the top. There's actually a card I've done with the baubles with the trees. Ooh, I can see it actually. But that's what I did last night on Craft Cave with that.
Oh, look. That's so lovely.
So over with some glitter embossing powder, because it keeps that sort of it keeps them open for quite a while. But that's what we've just done.
Can I just say as well, people often use this term in Christmas card making of batch making. And I'm afraid there's a bit of those two words which confine you into a box a little bit, isn't it? Because you get batch making, you think identical, and you think, well, if we're going to make identical cards, why don't I not just buy one of those selection boxes in the supermarkets? They're all the same. So if I'm making, and it becomes a little bit uninteresting to make the same thing over and over again. You would never make the same thing twice with this, would you?
No,
you just wouldn't.
You
almost
if
couldn't.
you wanted to, you
could. Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
I wouldn't personally.
No, definitely not. Let your creative freedom out and about. It's amazing. Well done if you've managed to get this so far. Remember, this is now while stocks last. Everything is busy on the show, let me tell you. Everything is busy on the show. Well done if you've been successful so far. Remember, the while stocks last is absolutely flying out of the door. The scales of the stamps that you've got going on here just give you so much potential. How beautiful is that? It's lovely. And that's using one of the baubles, I guess.
I'm actually using my bauble media plate from 2 or 3 years ago. So it fits, again, they've all been designed to fit and size-wise with products you've got. And the foliage on that is from the box kit from last week or the week before.
Oh, cool.
So everything's been tried to be matched with what you might have existing.
Brilliant.
So you don't have to buy new all the time. I love him.
I love that. I do. I think that's just adorable. Let me try and get you some samples that we haven't seen so far. Again, look. Look. What a beautiful, beautiful card. You know, select your wonderful papers. In fact, are there those lovely tartan papers out of the box kit, are they not?
They're actually from the tartan paper pad, I think, that one. I have got a little one to do with that, actually.
Beautiful. And there are so many different things you can do. You know what, even if you've made a Christmas card, and it could be with any die set, any stamp set, and you just need that completing border, corner, frame, whatever it might be, this is the only stamp set that you'll ever need to call upon for that kind of thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, you've got everything covered in that. And again, you can build it up. And you can build the wreaths without the stencils.
Yeah, of course.
It just takes a little bit more time. But I will show you tomorrow at the 8 a.m. show how we can use the corner pieces to actually try and get something similar without that. Because, again, I've made sure there's a set in here that has got curved pieces, so it's easier to make a border.
Look. Oh, right. Now, we need to talk about the 30 stamp blocks again, because everyone's going crazy for these. 70% of that stock, it's a big stock as well, sold out and gone. So again, there's the picture of them. Now, honestly, people are buying those in multiples as well. There must be. Say again? Oh, okay. What? Oh, honestly, people, you need to have a word with yourself. We've had a couple of the happy hours bounce back. Well, lucky you if you didn't get it the first time, if you just got in a little bit too late. $9.99 for a massive, I mean, bumper doesn't even do it, to be honest. So there are 2 big dies, then they're in a bossing folder, and so many other Billy Doos and elements and whatever in there. Yeah, I mean, actually, there's no way you could go into any craft store and walk out with that much. You just couldn't.
No, it's not possible.
Even if it was the 99 pence plus a penny shop,
yes,
you still wouldn't do it. You still wouldn't do it. And this is real quality Crafts 2 bits and pieces, isn't it, all the way through this?
The thing is, Crafts 2 have been going for sort of 22, 23 years
Yeah.
now. And the warehouse is like an Escher painting, as I say. And they find bits everywhere, and we need space all the time.
Yes, yeah, there's
and
new
what
things
happens
happening.
is they clear something out. I mean, I was actually given, Peter kindly gave me some white Crafts 2 card, and he said, it's the last box. And I giggled. He said, yeah, you're right. I'll find another box next week.
Yeah.
I went down there the week later. He came back and said, I've got 2 more boxes for you. And I said, you know what will happen? That shelf will regenerate and there'll be 3 on there next time. So it's a case of just clearing a space, and Jane put as much as she could possibly get away with in there.
These stamps are the most delicious, by the way. How many stamp sets have we actually got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10. It hadn't occurred to me how many stamp sets there are that make up that 103. It's absolutely brilliant. You think about it, this is just the right thing at the right time, now. You kind of got to have it, haven't you? Just when you think you've seen every stamp set that you'd ever want, something like that, you come along with something like this. John Lockwood.
There may be bits on there that people think, oh, I've got something like that, or I've got that. But I know there are things like the poinsettia that are from my drawing.
Yeah.
There are things that we've pulled that you haven't seen before, the sort of funky star, and we've tried to give it a real mixture so that you've got things that classic snowflakes, but you've got really modern things as well. And I've not done much with the sentiments. I love these sentiments. We did some in the beginning of this year, we called them centre sentiments, and they were in this beautiful font. So we've done exactly the same font, but this time we've done Christmas ones. So you've got your Merry Christmas, your Season's Greetings. But what I've also tied into there with things like With Love at Christmas, and there is Thinking of You at Christmas, because to me that's very important.
Yes.
If you're making cards for people who've not had a good year, who have lost someone this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know my mum, a long time ago when we lost my stepdad, she put every card that said Happy or Merry Christmas to the back.
Yeah.
And there was 2 or 3 left out that said Thinking of You. She didn't want to think of it.
Yeah.
So to me it's important to put that in. But also the snowflakes in there will tie in with my Baroque snowflake from the first Christmas release.
Oh, awesome.
So it's the same sort of drawing.
It's so good.
Building on.
And they're beautifully in scale with each other. This kind of fingertip size as well, which allows you to seam build so quickly. It's just such a quick win, isn't it?
It is. And all the bigger ones are sized exactly to match with these as well.
Fabulous. Right, OK, we've got about 10 minutes left in the show. Well done, everyone. Please do check out your baskets, by the way. You've got anything there in your basket, check it out, check it out, check it out. As for overnight, check the website. I don't know what the state of play might be by 4 in the morning.
No. Yeah, if you're on the 6 a.m. repeat, I'm sorry, I hate the 6 a.m. repeat. Because I come into the building and I'm on TV as I walk in. It's horrible. It really is. So what I'm going to do is, I thought I'd use the deer and the antlers.
Yeah.
So what you've got again is, it being me, I give you left and right. It wouldn't make sense not having them.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to place them down roughly. You could use your insert sheets to get them straight. So we're going to put those down. And again, we don't want to overpower the colours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink those up, and I like to use the sort of the VersaFine, the sepia, because I know it's what people have got at home. So I'm just going to ink those, and again, I'm going to bring in a scrap piece.
So sepia is like a slightly softer...
It's a softer brown.
Vintagey look.
So I'm just going to then put those in. Can you see? That's softer. So that's the first generation.
Yeah.
That's the second generation. It just makes it that little bit softer.
Yeah, and you'd probably use both, wouldn't you, anyway?
Oh,
but,
yeah, definitely. Well, what I would do is actually, what I'll do is, for this one, let's put him in place still, and let's put the eyes and the nose in. So, I'm just going to put my eyes. So, I'm going to put my eyes in. Let's just put a magnet in to hold them. So, there's my eyes. And you can use these in any way you want to, down or up, or, you know, make him look angry or happy.
Yeah.
And there's his nose, so let's take those off. So again, you wouldn't think these were in that stamp set, and normally you'd expect that to be on the stamp set like that, but it's not, because we can't get as much on if I do it that way.
Ah, yeah, that's true, yeah,
That's why it's not in that sort of thing. So, let's just, there we go, put his eyes in.
So cute, isn't it? So serene as well,
It
isn't it?
looks so beautifully, like you say, serene. And then I'm just going to grab a dauber that I've got red ink on.
Yeah.
Or I would take some of the red from the rainbow one. And I'm just going to...
Oh.
give him little blushed cheeks. So if I hold this one up, you can see. So that is using the bit that I off-stamped. But again, you can see there...
Isn't that the cutest?
Yeah, that's a simple, and you could repeat that time and time and time again. So here we've got that one. It's the sort of, those are the cards that I would send to people at work, or you know, the bin man cards, as I call them, the ones where you, because you're up north, so you know, years ago, you had to give a tip to the bin men at Christmas. Otherwise, your rubbish was strewn down your path for the first 6 months of the year, as my mother taught me. Like, why are you giving the bin man a Christmas card with money in? Because we want our rubbish clearing. Shh. Yeah. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to grab, actually, so some bits, ones I've already got set up on here. And again, this is my guide. I couldn't probably do it quite so randomly without it, so...
We've got a couple of people asking about the inks that you're using right now. So they come as a set of these two, they're called petals, aren't they?
These are petals, and basically they're fixed. So they're fixed in place, or you can pull them out and use them individually.
Oh, okay.
To ink your stamps. And they're pigment ink, and they're quite a relatively quick drying, but you get a beautiful, soft but opaque colour. Because obviously, if I'm trying to stamp something like this, I want them to be opaque, not dye-based, because then you see through them too much.
Yes. So you've got two selections in this for £19.98. Do we get both? Oh, OK. Thank you very much. That's very nice, isn't it? Yeah, so rainbow is your...
Time. Rainbow is your primaries.
Yes.
So rainbow is your primary colours.
Kind of as it says on the tin, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And then tea time are your secondary colours that go in between. So if you see those two greens there, you see that fits between there, and that, because they're locked in place, fits between there. So you're getting your primary and your secondary colours.
Yeah, so one kind of follows from the other.
Yeah, but it's having 16 altogether in one. But obviously, I've kind of overplayed with one of my greens a little bit, so...
Well, John, however good your storage is in your craft room, trying to keep your inks in one place...
Oh, yeah, I mean, and this is my favourite.
Yeah, exactly. Keeps it all together,
They're all stuck in there.
Yeah. OK, the finger stamp blocks now, we're up to 80% of the stock sold out, and God, it's a massive stock as well. It's just that I think because people are buying the stamps that are on the show from the one-day special and the while stocks last, it would need more than 3 sets, actually, wouldn't it? So, oh, yeah, you do get 10 in the while stocks last, so that would be 100. You'd still be 3 short, so you probably need another set as well. I mean, maybe you won't get one for every single one, because you do get 10 with your main bundle. But those 30s, they are good to have and to arrange, as John has done in an old Dauber tray.
They work so well in the old Dauber case.
Yeah.
I know, you know, again, we don't think... Your Daubers don't last forever. This is what happens. They start to pop after a while.
Yeah.
This is actually because I've used ink and then Mica Magic, and if you mix the two together, something chemical happens.
Oh.
And they pop like a mushroom.
Ooh.
So, you know, and I've done them for workshops, so, and I like new ones.
Yeah.
I know that's bad.
No.
I know I'm bad, but I like to have newer ones. So you can see, I can just keep building this up, but you've got that basis. So as long as you're sticking around there, you can see how beautifully you just keep building those colours around. I'm going to take, to be quick, I'm going to grab one of the, there's two larger berry stamps.
And then again, you could also hang baubles from those antlers as well, couldn't you? And there's other things that you can do with it. The possibilities are just, you know, many and plenty.
Well, the baubles will work hanging from it.
Yeah.
So you can see there, I've got the little, and I think actually what I feel I need on that is to bring that little brown in. So let's get a little bit of the pine cone. And there we go, let's put one there, shall we? So there's a little collection of pine cones, and let's have some little red berries in the middle of there. But you see how you can just start to really build this up, take different colours. You can just spend hours literally getting completely and totally carried away.
Of course you can. And that's the thing that's so good about these, because it's not just 103 stamps just thrown together that have no bearing or relation to each other. Everything works, and that gives you thousands and thousands more possibilities. And it's so easy to do.
And it's genuinely easy, but there's a sort of, you know, a wreath, and then I would simply take one of the sentiments. So let's go with Season's Greetings, because that is my favourite sentiment, to be honest. Get it straight. And just pop that on the bottom, matte and layer it up, and there's your card made. Simply. Season's Greetings.
So there you go.
On a little bit of craft card, we'll hold it up. There we go.
Bob's your uncle, and that's beautiful. It's so, so stunning. And there's so many different things that you can do as well. It doesn't have to be an overtly Christmassy, full of colour card. It can be a very, very more kind of subtle affair. But I want to come back to where I started with in this hour as well, which is the most genius idea, making that thing that we all talk about doing, but we just don't do it. See you in the morning at 8 a.m, John.
Yes, I will see you tomorrow.
With whatever will be left
Yes.
by then. I'll be around first thing as well on Thursday morning. Please make sure that you check out your baskets, especially for the finger blocks and, well, pretty much everything.